Okay, I'm going to try to do a little recap of some details that just seem so crazy that they can't be true. But yeah, perhaps let's just try, okay? So let's go back a year ago. See a face pop up on my TikTok over and over again. I think the guy's kind of crazy, like triggering a little bit. And I'm like, he's angry. Why is he angry? But then I like really, I tried to understand what he's saying. I like looked at him, and he just kept popping up. And then, and then I caught a video or two, and then you know how that goes, the old TikTok way. And I couldn't really understand all this stuff, but I'd catch like a few things. And he was the first person I saw post content with stuff I was experiencing that I fucking couldn't find anywhere, okay? But he just like posted a few silly videos about it, never really talked on it. And so then that just like opened the door of me like, all right, this guy like knows something. And I like that he shared alternative opinions that I hadn't heard. Like, I'm all about that, right? And then I started watching his like Patreon lectures, which were fucking great, like really good. And yeah, when you hear somebody teach on content that is in their own words, right? And with their own examples, it's undeniable that it's like, well, okay, well, and then also a commanding voice, right? But very thought-provoking examples. And a lot of the stuff he taught, well, I caught some of it, and but a lot of it I had to hear over and over again until there was like an aha moment, like, okay, I get that, and explored, a lot of material that I wasn't exposed to, which is really fucking cool, right? And then the last of it I didn't understand, and then I had to like hear over and over again, and it was just like, anyways, let's move on to the story. So if you start watching somebody online, this is a thing. I think they have like a medical term and everything. I've never had this. Well, maybe I have now. But yeah, you start like listening and like following a teacher. And I knew this about teachers, so you have to be like, teachers are needed, right? And we're all here for like a learn, teach, learn experience. But we have to be cautious when we put power outside of ourselves and think that's the only source. It can be really addicting too, right? Well, this person was kind of addicting for me because he's just like beautiful and was like represented all these shadow aspects of mine, right? So I was more or less studying him. I wasn't actually that interested in magic, but I was very interested in him and his like real life examples and just his views. So fucking interested, right? And that continued, and watching Patreon, and I would try to engage and send messages, and I always got either no response or like a short response, right? Or like what seemed like just rejecting kind of responses. But he had a Discord. I went on the Discord. I finally got on the Discord. It took a while to initiate, which I was confused about what that really was. But it was clear that this is a self-study. You're here to learn about magic, and there's material there, and you'll be like kind of like in a temple with like it's for shared community, obviously. Anyways, I just knew that I was like experiencing all that stuff, and I wanted to join and kind of see what that had to offer. I wasn't totally certain. And things were already kind of getting weird at that point, but I initiated. It was like a meditation or whatever, and you share flames. And then I was like on the Discord all the time. And started to like notice weird things about like I couldn't tell if they were like talking about me or not, which sounds like a real paranoid thing, right? But yeah, there was like a few like synchronicities that were just like, are they fucking talking about me? But nobody was really addressing me. So this continued for a while, and I was just trying to learn. I kind of knew that I was like locked into this situation, and it was like in the den a little bit, and was still there, but I was like, like, and there's topics I didn't fully understand. I knew that I wasn't getting full access to all the content. There was no opportunity for like one-on-one talk. It was all just like listening to lectures and listening to stuff I didn't fully understand. I really wanted to be seen. I could tell that it was like, I really wanted validation, to be seen by this like person I admired that I've been following. Yeah, and then it just got more and more obvious that they were like talking about me, and I'm like, fuck, I need to figure this out. Like, I need to figure this out, which I was trying. And so I spent a lot of time just like doing all sorts of ridiculous rabbit hole research. And I couldn't tell if they were making fun of me because I'd never actually spoken to anybody like directly. And I'm like, it could be me. There wasn't the nicest server, to be honest. I don't really like places where they make fun of people or whatever. It's mean. I mean, you can, but like to their faces so they know. Like, hey, you're dumb. And I'm like, I know. I'm a dumb genius. Genius is dumb. I'm both another bitch. Yeah, so listening to somebody, anyways, yeah, it escalated where it picked up on like, okay, there's like maybe some romantic interest or talking about me, that maybe I'm like some sort of karmic tie, and I don't know. And also things correlated with my body and this like backwards language where they were like coding to each other. Again, sounds very paranoid, but this is a true story. Yeah, so very frustrating. But this is my fault. I take full responsibility. Right? I should have spoke up earlier. I had asked for like audience. I don't communicate through written text. I kind of said that many times. But anyways, before you knew it, I was experiencing more and more radical things in my body, heightened sexual energy, which then was disclosed was about partnerships with entities, incubus and succubus, which that would have been good to know. That's kind of a big one, right? To know that. And it was mentioned very casually. And I'm very familiar with working with sexual energy, but this was like, this opened a whole nother door where all of a sudden I was just like fucking super horny. I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with this, right? Like, what do I do with this? And still kind of figuring that out. And I haven't been answered about like, what's the deal with that energy? Just like feel like, so I can see these like puppy dog eyes. I look like some sort of victim a little bit, but I'm not. But I do need to get to the facts here. The facts are, my body has been heavily manipulated. I work a shaman practice, right? And I was very used to like embodying spirit, but it got like harder and harder. With everything that was going on to live a normal life, because everything was getting heightened and I was becoming less and less functioning, right? And the studying got dumber and dumber. And then there was a few incidences that were not like the normal work I did with spirit. It seemed very intentional, very heavy and concerning. And I had asked about it. And I think I'd done something, I'm not sure, like passive aggressive, or yeah, I left a comment that was aggressive. And I also asked for a break because my body was feeling very depleted. And I believe there was like intentional summoning of spirit to go through my body. So then a couple days after that, there 100% was, which felt like necromancy. It was. And it was spirit that didn't want to be pulled from wherever it was pulled. And it was one of the worst fucking experiences I've ever had. And I never went back to the Discord after that. But, you know, up until that point, my hands had been like really falling in love with each other, touching each other a lot. And I was trying to, and, you know, this person was posting stuff about his hands, that there's a partnership, and I believed it was me. Well, there's certainly a lot of stuff happening with my hands and wanting to touch each other, but there was no fucking communication. It's no marriage. Not my opinion. Not that I'm close to that. Maybe question what love is. Something so addicting and consuming and toxic and beautiful, and it's a drama that we like. But it brought up a lot of traumas. Somebody that represented my dad, I tiptoed around my dad. He made me feel inadequate, scared. He would hit me, hit the kids or whatever. And I lost my voice. I couldn't talk around him. I tiptoed around him. And that's slowly what happened in this situation as well. I found myself silent, not wanting to speak. It's not a good place for me because I like my voice. It's kind of one of my major tools. So I guess I'm hitched, right? And then more and more I find out that, you know, just from like comments or stuff, videos, posting, complaining about me, that certain archetypes that I had embodied were taken over, right? Because I couldn't handle it or whatever. But I don't know that. It was just like, and yeah, my tail was eaten, my fucking position of my dad was taken, my womb was taken. No, not true. None of it is true. The joke is on you. I am incorruptible. I am omnipotence. I am the governing intelligence. On guard, always. Instantly consuming all that seeks to disrupt or disturb. All with malice intent to cause harm. Forewarning, you will be consumed, transmuted, neutralized. I am incorruptible. I do not pass blame. I give thanks. I take back my power. I take back the power that was taken from me. I take back my power. I take back my power. All magic causing limitations, limiting beliefs, disharmony, and parasitic energy drainage is now dissolved. I break any and all contracts. I take back my power. I am free. I am sovereign. I am omnipotent. I am. Pure loving awareness. I love you.